One of the main points is that because glaucoma is an asymptomatic condition, people need to go for regular eye tests so that the glaucoma can be picked up by optometrists. So one of the first questions was asking people how often they go to visit their optometrist for a routine eye check. And the research revealed that about half the population have an eye test every 2 or 3 years, which is appropriate for most people, and about a third go for an eye test every year. However, there are fully 10% of people who haven't been for an eye test at all in the last 5 years, and that equates to 3 million people at risk of glaucoma that haven't had an eye test that would pick up their disease. Another question was looking at awareness of glaucoma. Most people have heard of glaucoma, but about a quarter of the people asked didn't actually know very much about it. But half those asked that knew about glaucoma didn't know that it was asymptomatic early in the course of the disease. Asymptomatic means that there are no symptoms, so a patient with a condition that's asymptomatic will not know that they have the condition because there are no features that impact on their daily life to tell them that they have the disease. By the time there are symptoms, that is, by the time that a patient is aware that they've got a problem with the vision, the glaucoma is usually far advanced. And when glaucoma is far advanced, patients are more at risk of disability as a result of their glaucoma and even losing their vision and becoming blind. Absolutely, and we believe that about half of those with glaucoma are undiagnosed at present. And late diagnosis is a major risk factor for blindness from glaucoma. So if glaucoma is picked up early in the course of the disease, it can be treated, and most people retain useful vision for their lifetime. However, if it's advanced by the time it's diagnosed, there's a risk of blindness and visual disability as a consequence of the glaucoma. People often believe that glaucoma causes what's often referred to as tunnel vision. But this is a misunderstanding. Tunnel vision actually is a very rare experience for people with glaucoma, and most people that have the condition, if they're aware of any problem at all, it manifests as missing parts of the vision or blurred parts of the vision, and not as tunnel vision at all. Glaucoma is a condition that affects the optic nerve, which is the nerve of sight in the eye. In most people, it arises because the pressure in the eye is too high for that eye, and the pressure causes damage to the nerve. Nerve fibers that carry sight from the eye to the brain are damaged and die, and the consequence is loss of vision. The loss of vision is usually in the periphery initially, which is why people don't realize that the vision loss is occurring. It goes unnoticed. But as the disease becomes more advanced, then the central vision can be impaired, and it can start affecting people's ability to read and recognize faces and navigate. And glaucoma is a frequent cause of falls in the elderly because people are not aware that they can't see steps and curbs and that sort of thing. And they fall and can fracture limbs as a consequence of the falls. Another major impact of sight loss is loss of the driving license. There are certain requirements, visual requirements for driving set out by the DVLA, and people with glaucoma can fail those requirements without even knowing that they have glaucoma. Removal of the driving license has a very large impact on the quality of life of people with glaucoma. So it's really important that people have it diagnosed at a stage before it impacts on their ability to do everyday tasks. Glaucoma gets more common as age rises. So above the age of 40, about 1 in 50 people have glaucoma. By the time people reach the age of about 80, that number rises to 1 in 20 people with glaucoma. Absolutely. So most people, in fact, will know someone with glaucoma, even though that person may not know they have glaucoma themselves. Yes, we usually recommend that people start having regular eye checks above the age of 40. But if you're an individual that's at greater risk of having glaucoma, then we recommend earlier tests. So anybody with a family history for glaucoma, so a close family member such as a parent or a sibling, should start being tested earlier. And people from certain backgrounds, so people with African Caribbean heritage, are more at risk of getting glaucoma. And another important fact is that people from the African Caribbean tend to get glaucoma not only earlier, but it tends to be more severe, and it advances more rapidly, so the vision loss is more severe. So it's particularly important for people from those heritage groups to have early eye checks and regular eye checks to pick up this condition that has no symptoms in the early stages. Well, the best place to go is the International Glaucoma Association website, which is www.iga.org.uk. And there's a wealth of information on that website.